Hi. All right. Just wanted to double check. Just wanted to tell you guys straight up. I'm actually a fan of Star Wars, a hardcore super fan of Star Wars. I'm also a Magnusite, and I've just seen a video in YouTube about Tyrone Magnus. He's just revealed a video where he says he's reacting to a news that says that Disney might bring back George Lucas to do more Star Wars movies. For me, that, and for everybody, Disney and Star Wars or non-Star Wars fans, I think is fantastic, great news. So Tyrone Magnus' reaction to it was very happy and enthusiastic, just like me. When I was seeing it, I was enthusiastic. I was like, yes, man, that's what we all need. But Tyrone Magnus has this. He has his view. He was saying that they want. George Lucas said that if they want George Lucas to be back in the Disney version of Star Wars, he has like two requests. The first request is George Lucas must have total full control, total autonomy on making all his creative ideas and everything to go way forward in Star Wars. That's request number one, which is quite a big request, knowing very fully well that George Lucas has already given the full rights for Disney to take over, but Disney is willing to, if Disney is smart, they would be willing to negotiate in such a way where they give George Lucas full autonomy, creative everything. The second request was to get Dave Filoni, creator of the Clone Wars and now with the Mandalorian series as well, to be also in the helm. I think this is a fantabulous, shocking, superb story. Story. It's a very good. It's a very good idea. It is an extremely good idea, and I think everyone wants this. Every fan out there who loves Star Wars would be jumping. They were like, yes, man, the creator of Mandalorian, the creator of Clone Wars, together with George Lucas to be doing a new Star Wars thing with Disney, I think is a fantastic story. I think it will be a fantastic idea, a fantastic move going forward, and a fantastic move for both Lucasfilm and Disney as a whole. If you look at what happened in episode 7, 8 and 9, I would say it is a tragic disappointment. Overall, it was a tragic disappointment for a lot of people, like for Tyrone Magnus. But Tyrone Magnus said one thing that where he says that something to do with Dragon Ball. I'm not an anime follower or whatever, but according to Tyrone, he says that in the Dragon Ball Z, they came out with a new series, and apparently that new series of Dragon Ball didn't do well with the fans, so they changed it to make it look like the new series is actually like an alternate reality version of the Dragon Ball series. So they treated the new thing like an alternate reality. So this Tyrone Magnus was saying, why not treat this episode 7, 8 and 9 to be in the same kind of pot, where it's like an alternate reality universe of Star Wars, where there's an alternate 7, 8 and 9. Meanwhile, George Lucas and Dave Filoni can sit down and refix everything and make a new 7, 8 and 9. My thinking is that, I'm sorry to say, but that train has already left the station. It's not coming back. 7, 8, 9 is being done. It's over with. Failure or not, it's already been done. It's released. They made their money out of it. But everybody is disappointed. Just like me, I'm a Star Wars fan. I was disappointed. But what to do? There's nothing much we can do. It's already done, and Disney knows it as well. GL knows it as well. Dave Filoni knows it as well. So instead of trying to whine and trying to, why can't we make a new? Why can't we make a new episode 7, 8, 9 that does justice? I think like Rise of Skywalker put an close to the Skywalker saga. It's not the closure that we are looking for or anticipated, but it's there, so let's just accept it. Skywalker saga is done for. It's finished. My thinking, my idea would be, if should George Lucas and Dave Filoni work on a new project for new Star Wars, make it a trilogy, but a trilogy that takes part many years, at least like 5 centuries, okay, at least like 5 centuries after the events of Rise of Skywalker, like 500 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker, and it has no episodes. That means it's not episode 10, 11, no. It's 3 movies. Make it a trilogy, but a separate. It is a Star Wars trilogy, but nothing to do with episodic. It's non-episodic. It could be like, the title could be Star Wars something something something. That's the first movie. And then the second movie is Star Wars something something something. And the third movie, Star Wars something something something. It doesn't need to be a Star Wars story. No, not like Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or Solo. Star Wars story is spin-offs. That's completely different. They can also concentrate on doing Star Wars movies, Star Wars stories. That can be done. But the one that George Lucas and Dave Filoni should be doing is about making 3 movies, a trilogy, and it's not episodic. It is a Star Wars based movie, not episodic, and it should be like taking place after all the Skywalker saga. So whatever that's any elements to do with the rebellion or the empire or the first order or the final order or whatever order, all that is forgotten, is in the ancient past. We're looking at completely new things right now. There is new ships, new factions, new systems, new planets, new threats, new weapons, new things, newer newer and more importantly explained well concepts. Yes, you can say there's the Jedi, fine. You can see that there's many, new Jedis has already been established. And in terms of the Sith, they can still explain that the Sith is still there, despite, because if you look at it, I mean, I have a small tiny idea that we probably will have a completely new faction that has grown out of from the final order, but many years, generations later, there will always be good people and there will be always evil people. So it's very easy to just come out with a new faction, a new power who wants to take control of everything, right? And the Jedi can still be there, but maybe probably call them differently, because it's been 5 centuries later. That means like 500 years later. So the Jedi has been grown after Rise of Skywalker. They can probably say, like in ancient archives, where they can say the Master Rey Skywalker had rebuilt the Jedi, or maybe they can include some of the Sith loyalists who somehow were able to rebuild the Sith members, and a new Sith order has arisen. So I would say that they have to really map it all up. They really need to map it all up. They have to put all the connection points, and this time build a trilogy that focuses more on building characters. Each character will have a very strong character, and there's a story to tell, rather than a mix mash-up of so many things. There's too many things. Like Force Awakens did that. They had so many things to tell about, but so little time to tell and explain. We have that huge Jakku. They have like a battle scene, and we have never seen the battle. We don't know what the hell the battle is all about, but we have seen the Star Destroyers and all kind of. We know that Jakku has been a major. There was a huge battle in Jakku. What is it for? We have no idea. And then there was this ridiculous chase about the Rathas with Han Solo and King Prana. There were so many things that was told in Force Awakens that was never ever explored further in the next movie, which is Last Jedi. Last Jedi was a whole big pie of crap that didn't follow whatever that was supposed to be followed. So that's why episode 7, this is like episode 7 is one movie, episode 8 is another movie, and episode 9 is a completely different movie. Each one is not really co-related to each other. That's why it was a failure. They never interconnected each other. and they made this huge big mess. That's the problem about it. And being a Star Wars fan, it was really disappointing. Really, really disappointing, because as much as I want to tell my friends, hey, go watch the movie, man, it's fantastic, back of my brain, back of my heart is like, they're not gonna like it. And yeah, half of everybody I told go and watch the movie, they went back, they came back with, what kind of shit movie you asking me to watch? And I had zero answers. It was so saddening. It was really, really saddening. And I know Tyrone Magnus themselves they abhorred a lot of the movies, I would say. They loved the trailer. The trailer was awesome, but the movie was... So, if George Lucas and Dave Filoni is to go forward, please, my request is, please build a completely new timeline, which is at least 500 years into the future. Build better, more powerful ships. That's what was really lacking in episode 7, 8 and 9. It is the future. If you think about it, it's the future of episode 7, Force Awakens, was at least about 25 years. Think about it. 25 years after Return of the Jedi. Why are there still X-Wings? Why is there still Star Destroyers? Why is there still freaking TIE Fighters? And it kept on rolling with it. Episode 7, episode 8, episode 9. What? You mean in 25 years no freaking technology was available? No other newer things, newer concepts? In episode 7, the main big thing was a Skywalker base, which is basically a bigger version of the Death Star. It just doesn't make sense. Even in the movie, when they explain, it just gets bigger. It's completely ridiculous if you think about it. 25 years and the technology they are not upgraded or something. What, each and every engineer back then or scientist in the Star Wars universe banging balls or something? Come on. So that's why I feel that they should, like, put it like 5 centuries after the events of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker, where technology has gone to totally different levels. You're looking at completely new spacecrafts, completely new planets, new factions, new organizations, newer weaponries as well. So I think, yeah, they can build on that, and I believe that will be really fantastic if they go forward thinking and build a new Star Wars trilogy that focuses a new storyline. Not necessarily have to be totally about Skywalker. It doesn't need to have Skywalkers involved, but you can you can continue with about the Jedi. You can continue with the Sith. You can continue with certain elements, but half the other things has to be completely new. We need a new cast, definitely. Please do not go back to 7, 8, 9 cast. That's done for. Let's move forward 500 years into the future of Star Wars and start doing really, really futuristic stuff. We need to show that the Star Wars universe has evolved in the future, and that's Disney is capable of doing that. We have all powerful CGI. This is the time for you to explore that, and that is my idea. That's my thinking, my creative idea. Okay, we can create with many different new characters and build a beautiful storyline, powerful characters around them. This is my thinking. All right, future for Star Wars. George Lucas, Dave Filoni, in your hands we trust. In Disney's, I don't know.